Now with Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Let's have a closer look on the theme of the poem. It's very important while attempting a review of it. What comes to your mind when we think of a wall? The Great Berlin Wall of Germany, which was demolished for German unification. So let me place a question before you. What does a wall do? Does it separate us or unite us? Does it promote harmonious relationship between people and nations? A question to be pondered over and over. A question debated again and again where we reach no conclusion at all. A wall often offers safety and security. It keeps a relationship intact as there won't be any dispute over boundaries. At the same time, it blocks relationship as it stands for division, not unity. We dream of a world without boundaries. Mending Wall presents these contradictions in life. Man makes boundaries, and the same man breaks the boundaries. He acts as the wall builder and the wall breaker. Though the poem appears simple in rural, foxy language, it deals with the very complex theme. It presents these conflicting ideas. The speaker and the neighbor have contrasting views about having a wall between their estates. The nature doesn't like a wall. It causes the frozen ground swell and thus topples off the upper boulders, creating gaps. Hunters too add to it. They flush out the rabbit but never care for the fallen boulders. The poet goes to the neighbor who lives over a hill and fixes a day to work together. It is a taxing work. Their hands get chapped. It is a work for work's sake, which has momentary existence. It is practiced like a ritual. The speaker doesn't like a wall, but the neighbor strongly argues for the wall. The speaker says that the wall is unnecessary as they have different estate and no cattle to encroach. But the neighbor repeats the adage, good fences make good neighbors. The poet enjoys it as an outdoor game while the neighbor is very serious about it. They don't know what they are walling in and what they are walling out. Nature has the capacity to damage and destroy everything that human beings build. He calls a neighbor a savage, moving in darkness, as he is not progressive. But the paradox is that it is the poet who visits the neighbor and fixes their annual appointment for mending the wall. Though the wall separates them, the act of mending wall unveils a curtain of communication. It paves way for opening up the hearts and strengthening their bonding. The poem is full of contrasting elements: urban and rural, progressive and traditional, orthodox and modern, isolation and community living. Now, let's wind up by ensuring that no wall should separate us from living harmoniously with our fellow beings.
Dear friends, I hope you're already familiar with the poem Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Now let's analyze the two characters in the poem, the poet and his neighbor. The tension in the poem Mending Wall is created through the contrasting views of the poet and his neighbor on the wall that separates them. These views are expressed through two repeated lines in the poem. The poet holds the view that there is something that doesn't love a wall, whereas his neighbor firmly believes that good fences make good neighbors. While the poet's philosophy about something presents the theory that nature does not like walls between people, it also means that there is something in human nature that doesn't like walls. The poet feels that there is no need for any boundary, as neither of them has got anything precious to keep in lawns. They have just trees. Therefore, mending the wall is a purposeless activity. However, his neighbor, being attached to his traditions, attempts to justify mending the wall. He asserts that boundaries and distances are essential for human relationships to work. Interestingly, what enchants the reader is the message he conveys that most relationships can work well with boundaries. Ironically, the poem Mending Wall ends with the neighbor's ideal regarding good fences. Does it mean that the poet is eventually obliged to his neighbor's views? Answer to this question is not easy. The poet makes us inconclusive, which is typical of Robert Frost's poems.